everyone, and welcome to the Week 2 review, Week 3 preview. I am, as always, your commissioner, head honcho, person in charge, Mr. Modest, and I'm joined by Joel Gibson, the champion over here. He has the championship. He has the trophy for now. Get used to not holding that in a few months here, Joel Gibson.
Hey, you don't know that for certain. I've repeated in the past. I could do it again.
That's true. Well, we'll get right into it here. Week 3, we'll start with the champs matchup as always. Joel Gibson, a strong win this week, 8-2-1 over Adam. We weren't sure after Adam won week 1. Joel Gibson, talk that talk, big fella.
Yeah, man. Well, they said it couldn't be done. They said that we were a bunch of losers. They said Al Horford was waiver wire material. They said Kelly Olynyk was a bunch of fucking grated cheese. They said it couldn't be done. Here we fucking are. We're 1-1. The winning streak starts now, baby. We're coming. We're hot. If you saw my line the other night, it was fucking intense. Fucking DeAndre Melton. Is it DeAndre?
No,
Melton for Memphis. This guy, he's fucking good, dude. God forbid Dylan Brooks never makes it back because he's lighting the fire under everyone's ass. And Mitchell Robinson, man, when he comes for league leader in blocks this year,
look out.
Trouble.
Look out. That's all I have to say. Just look out. Moving on, Adam moves to 1-1. Joel Gibson 1-1, as he said. Next matchup is Cody at Phil. Cody takes care of Phil. We were pretty confident about this one. Poor Phil is struggling without Zion, without Embiid. He is just, poor fella's just waiting for dynasty out here. Congratulations to Cody. Cody had some pretty solid lines this week. And he did, I believe he did some cycling for once this week. He didn't underestimate that player advantage like he said in the first week. So we're all growing in this matchup.
Yeah.
Next matchup is Matt Hobert beating Doug. Doug was the away team here. Doug made the comment at the beginning of the week that Matt's team could only rebound and that's it. To me, it looks like Matt's team can do a little bit more than that. He played man down with Simmons. He still has Siakam and Clay on his IR. Let me just say, when Siakam comes back, Matt could be a problem. And I know it's crazy to say that, but Matt's team's looking pretty solid right now. Bam is not assisting as much, and he was out towards the end of the week as well. I was actually pretty shocked on this one, if I'm being honest. It was 5-4-2, Matt wins.
You're breaking up a little bit. I don't know if you're coming through on, or if it's just on my end or over both, but if I missed something there, I apologize.
No, you're coming in just fine. I'm sorry I'm breaking up. Any comments on Matt and Doug?
Good win for Matt. Unexpected. Just like you noted that I was right on Matt's heels last week. But Matt gets a pretty big win, not just over Doug, but with LeVert back on the floor.
Absolutely. And, you know, like I was saying, if Simmons ever decides to play, or even if Siakam comes back where he can shift Siakam to active and have Simmons on his IR until he comes back, it's an interesting spot for Matt. He may be more competitive, and I do want to say that my biggest regret so far is trading Miles Bridges to Matt for Zubac.
Playing like a top 20 player right now.
Absolutely, and I'm the first one to admit when I was wrong, and I was wrong with this one. Rozier coming back, I thought might limit him a little bit. We don't know about P.J. Washington. We don't know if this is going to hold. But right now, Miles Bridges, that trade is looking like the best trade of the year for Matt.
Yeah, it looked it looks like Matt got you, which none of us saw coming.
None of us saw coming, but shout out to him. I mean, it was a good trade. I do regret it. My team's playing okay, so I'm not worried about that. Let's just talk about my team, Joel Gibson. We'll get into this matchup. Neiman 1-0, coming in hot. I told everyone I might struggle this week. I didn't know if Harden was going to rebound. I didn't know what Beal was going to do. But you know what happened, Joel Gibson? They both just decided, hey, we're actually really fucking good. And really started putting up some numbers. I'm scoring a ton. I'm assisting a ton. And it's just feeling good right now. My low-end cycle seems to be working as well. Neiman did not add at all this week. 0 ads for Neiman. He didn't add today, which made no sense to me whatsoever. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm not sure if Neiman's just saving the money and taking the loss. I don't know. I don't know if he just has a special spot in his heart for Tease or not, but I have no idea why he wouldn't add against me this week. So Neiman, not adding cost you the win. You look like Cody from last week. I will take this win. It is a very good win. It's the home win in the West. I have to have this matchup, in my opinion, and I did do it. So, very excited about this win. Neiman moves to 1-1. Oh, I apologize. Cody is 1-1. Phil is 0-2. Doug is 1-1. Matt is 2-0. Neiman 1-1. I am 1-1. Sorry about that. I'll try to work those in. I do apologize. Next matchup is Kyle, the home team, beating Eric. Eric's all kind of banged up right now. Drew Holiday being out is really hurting Eric. And Kyle wins 5-4-2. So it's not like it was a blowout or anything like that. But Eric without Drew is a little bit easier than Eric with Drew. I'll say that.
For sure.
Take
him while he can.
Eric moves to 0-2, and he has been the biggest fall from grace. I think I started him at the 4 spot in week 1. He's not there anymore, if you're wondering. Kyle moves to 0-2, and Joel, just think about this here. We're going to get into it with the power rankings. The only undefeated teams right now are Matt Hobert and Kyle Baney. I don't know what's going on in this league right now. This is a testament to I have no idea who's winning this championship this year.
Man, I would have never guessed that going to this year.
Absolutely. And then you've got Steven rebounding and beating CJ. CJ moves to 1-1. Steven moves to 1-1. CJ at the beginning of the week was kind of trash talking a little bit about the record. Well, now you have the same record, so there's no more trash talking to be had, at least for now. Steven's 7-4 victory here. And like I said, CJ's team starting to perform a little bit more like I thought it should have in week 1. He did end up beating me, like I said, but might have been a fluke. I'm just saying, might have been a fluke.
Yeah, there's a couple swings that CJ took drafted at. I didn't know we were going to pan out so well for him. Scotty Barnes looks really interesting. Ricky Rubio has been great for the Cavs.
I know. The Cavs, at least to the Cavs part, they're not playing Garland enough minutes, in my opinion. They're playing Rubio too much. I think towards the end of the year, that's going to change. I also think that when Siakam comes back, that really hurts Scotty Barnes as well. So, yeah, they're playing great now. But as we move forward, I think CJ's team might just take a little bit more of a hit long term. With that being said, I'm going to get into my power rankings here. A little bit of a mix-up. You know, I was okay week 1. Week 2, I got a little bit better. Week 3, these are just wackadoo at this point. Phil is number 12 at 0-2. Eric, number 11 at 0-2. That's all you can do if you don't have a win. Poor Eric. That is a fall from grace. Then you have Adam at number 10. I think this is too low for Adam, but it's a show me kind of thing. I thought he was going to be able to compete with you a little bit better than he did this week. Next is Steven at 1-1. Steven has a tough matchup coming up this week. Adam also has a tough matchup coming up this week, so that's why they're both kind of in that 9-10 spot. Either one could move into playoff contention with a win. Next, we've got Mr. Modest at number 8, just sneaking in those playoffs. Took a bad loss to CJ, but rebounded nicely against Neiman. Joel comes in at number 7. I believe that is 1 up from last week, so Joel Gibson on the rise. I went 3 up, but Joel Gibson on the rise. CJ, I have at number 6 right now. Again, like we talked about, I think there might be a little bit of a fall off, but CJ plays Eric this week. CJ's the home team as well. We don't know a lot about Drew Holiday, and we'll get into that, of course. Number 5 is Cody at 1-1. Cody, I just have this feeling that 5 might be the lowest we see him go. I don't know that he's going to get too much further outside the top 5, if at all. Cody, good rebound win this week. Next is Neiman at 4. I still have Neiman this high, mainly because he plays Kyle this week. And if you look at Neiman and I's line against everyone else this week, we're beating everybody. Everybody wants a piece of Neiman and me right now. And we're going to give it to him. So Neiman stays strong at 4 there, despite the loss. Doug, I have at number 3. Again, it's because not only does he play a questionable team in Adam, but he also had a very strong line this week. And then number 1 and 2, Matt Hobert is number 1 in the league right now, and Kyle Bainey number 2. Now, Kyle, I put at number 2 because he plays Neiman this week. If Kyle, you beat Neiman, you are going to be a top 2 team next week for sure, hands down. And you might even get that number 1 spot depending on how the other matchup turns out. But I like Matt's chances in his matchup this week more than I like Kyle against Neiman. So Matt gets the number 1 spot moving into week 3. I don't think this is going to be the first time, if Siakam comes back quickly, that Matt's in that top 3 conversation. I think he might have auto-drafted into like 7th heaven. Zion coming back is basically Matt's only worry because of Val's because of Val's production.
Yeah.
Heaven forbid he gets Siakam and Simmons back. He's going to be a real difficult out for sure. So Matt's at the number 1 spot right now, and it's feeling like Fantrax year. I don't know why. I just have this weird feeling that Matt might contend this year. So everybody watch out.
That would be a scary thing. I don't want a 2-time Matt Hobart champ.
Absolutely not. Nobody wants that. Now, moving right along into week 3, Joel, do you have anything on my power rankings or?
I think those were all fair and well thought out. I think that the power rankings are always going to be a little skewed early in the season.
Yep.
Small sample size, what have you.
Yep.
But it's pretty interesting. I think that there's a chance this might be the highest that we see Kyle all season.
Interesting there. With that being said, we'll get right into week 3. We'll start with the champs matchup. Joel Gibson is home against Phil this week. Why Joel Gibson was over me in power rankings, it was for this reason. I think Joel wins this week pretty handedly. Poor Phil, he's just got to find a way to get it together, but I don't think his first win's coming against Joel Gibson.
We're gonna try to make sure that it's not. But yeah, it's tough for first-year players, especially when you're just acquiring a team. I'm gonna pick myself this week. We're getting the winning streak going, baby.
Excellent. And may I just take a quick moment to say that hair looks luxurious tonight, my friend. Holy smokes, look at that thing.
Man, we cut off 4 inches this week.
Did you really? I honestly cannot tell that you cut anything off. 4 inches came off that thing?
Yeah, dude.
Dude, it's looking nice though. It's got those curls now where you cut the dead ends off and now it's coming through. I gotta say, pirates everywhere are jealous of that haircut, my friend.
Thanks, man.
You're very welcome. Moving on to the next matchup, we have 2-0 Matt at Cody. Now,
this is a good one.
This is a good one for sure. Is Matt for real? Does Matt get Siakam back this week? I don't think so. I think that they're talking about Siakam maybe in November. So for me, I'm taking Cody here. Cat is the number 1 player in fantasy right now. Some question marks as far as Porzingis for Cody. But Matt's basically playing man down with the Simmons issue. If Cody decides to cycle, I think him being the home team as well. I don't see anybody on Matt's team getting a triple-double. So I'm going to take Cody this week.
I'm going to take Cody too. I also think Cody's team is like just kind of getting the engine revved up, you know?
Yep, 100% I agree.
So, I think it's going to be a fall from grace. I think Matt and I are going to have a tied record as of the end of next week.
But who will have the tiebreaker in said record?
I already fucking know that.
Moving on to the next matchup is Doug at Adam. I thought Adam was going to be better against you last week, quite frankly, so I'm taking Doug here without really any hesitation. I know Doug said he forgot to do a couple ads earlier this week. I don't know that would have made a difference against Matt. It could have, but it didn't. So I think Doug's going to be more on his game this week. I think the Wire's going to be a little bit more active. So I'm going to go with Doug here.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Doug if for no other reason. Marvin Bagley is still on Adam's team right now. And that's a tough luck, dude. It's tough luck.
I can agree with that. Now, heading out west, we've got probably the biggest show me matchup of the week. Kyle Bainey away at Neiman. Neiman put up an incredible line against me last week. There's no debate about it. He and I believe, would beat every single other person if you stack our lines up. It was like that before Sunday started, so I could be off by like one matchup. So we beat the 9 out of 10 of everybody else. You know, it's one of those things that we both had incredible lines. He's the home team against Kyle. I don't see Kyle getting a triple-double. Good luck trying to beat Neiman straight up. It is going to be extremely tough. I'm going Neiman here. I think Neiman will start cycling, especially in those spots that we talked about, Whiteside and Tease. I don't know why he wasn't cycling in those spots anyway, but I'm going with Neiman.
Yeah, I'm going Neiman as well, which means next week there will be no undefeated teams left in the league.
I love it. I love when there are no undefeated teams. That means we're doing a great job at being competitive. Everybody can win week to week. I really enjoy it, and I really enjoy how this is shaping up. So many teams are so close that it's literally going to come down to how well their players are playing. There's not a ton of like super lopsidedness. I mean, outside of Phil, I don't think there's a guaranteed win in the league right now. Eric, even though he's struggling, if Drew comes back this week, he'll be right there competing again. Next matchup is going to be me at Steven. Now, if I can win this matchup, I'm going to feel a lot more better about my situation and kind of throw away the CJ loss as a spoof. Harden is starting to turn it on. He went to the line, not this game, but last game he was at the line 12 times. I think he's just taking some time to get worked into place. I believe he's going to finish a top 5 fantasy asset this year. I'm going with myself as the away team. Now, Steven has Greek that could throw off a triple-double to try to tie me. But if I can get one of them, I'm just better defensively. And that's no offense to Steven. I just think that I'm going to get him not only in free throws because of Greek, but I'm also going to be able to rattle in more points and things like that. I like myself this week. Go, Mr. Modest.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Steven. He's the home team. There's just a lot of guys on Steven's team that I like. If Robert Williams just has like a monster week, you could just be completely fucked.
Okay, all right. I'll take the heat on that one. I want to prove the doubters wrong. I got to move up those. Rankings the right way, you know. But I'll do it. That's fine. Bring it on, Steven. Good luck to you, buddy. You've been active in the messenger. I love it. Steven Thornhill has been incredible so far this season. To an extent, I hope he keeps winning so he sticks around, but not this week, my friend. Last matchup we've got is Eric at CJ. Now, CJ has one win. He's the home team here. Eric, we don't know about Drew. He's the away team. And like I said, it's one of those situations where Eric is a very different team with Drew versus Eric without Drew. Capella's been off to kind of a slow start. CJ has been, benefiting from LeBron taking that one, maybe 2 games off, but he's back now. So we'll see what Westbrook does. Dre's been okay as well. This one was tough for me. I'm going to take CJ because I want to believe that his beating me in week 1 wasn't as big of a spoof as I think it was. And Eric, I'm just going to assume that Drew still is not playing, and he's the away team. CJ has Westbrook, so there's a chance that he gets the triple-double anyway and locks down Eric to get 5 categories. And right now, looking at the teams, I'm not sure what 5 categories Eric can take. I'm going CJ.
I'm going CJ as well. Dame isn't playing super well for Eric. You mentioned that Capella's off to a slow start. It's just, it's tough without Holiday out there. I kind of like CJ's team. He texted me earlier this week, and then I just kind of got real stoned and looked at his team for a while, and I kind of talked myself into it a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, CJ's team is solid. It's just he screwed himself getting into the cap space issue. He's doing like 2 low-end cycle, which is fine. That's hey, I do it all the time. I'm not going to doubt that. But that trade for Kyrie, I think he could have found a better deal somewhere else if he had looked to get players that were actually playing. I think that might be CJ's biggest faux pas the entire year. I don't know if we see Kyrie, and there's nothing that says to me that that's all of a sudden going to change. But I do have CJ this week, and like I said, I hope that he proves that beating me wasn't a spoof.
I agree. I think he's going to win this week.
All right, well, that being said, based on our picks and everything, there's an opportunity to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 players, 8, the entire playoffs at 2-1 at the end of next week if everything works out how we say it's going to work out. All the teams will be tied at a 2-1 record if our picks go the way we think they're going to go. And that's what I want. Top 8, same record. Let's do it. I can't remember even starting a season where the top 8 was literally tied. The entire top 8 literally tied. I can't remember a season. I don't think so. because there's always been an undefeated team or something like that that shook it up, and so your 8 was a different record. By far, this is the closest year that I think we've had based on the first 2 weeks and maybe 3 weeks. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but this is turning out to be a very interesting year.
It's been a lot of fun. It always is.
Already, we love it. All right, well, I should be completely done with the Dynasty rulebook tomorrow. Joel Gibson has reviewed it. I'm going to post it. It might not be early in the morning. It might be late afternoon or even evening. There is one more thing I want to add to it, and it just depends on how work goes for me tomorrow. But truly, I want everybody to go through this rule book. I want everybody to try to pick apart anything they possibly can. And let's get these rule issues worked out before we even start the season. That would be a great help. And to each of you, I appreciate the feedback as always. Joel Gibson, anything else for this week?
Good luck, fellas. I'm still the fucking champ.
Excellent. Good luck to everyone. And, man, just keep it up. I love where this season's going, and I think it's going to be a good time. We'll see you guys next week.
See you next week.